What is up, YouTubers? Jonza here, and welcome back to another episode of Sawcasters, where I do remember we talked about last episode, which was a bunch of nonsense. I basically just talked about a few small stories for the entire episode. Technically, it wasn't the plan, but I don't know, I just kind of kept talking and talking and talking, and I just kind of led to a full episode last time, so... Yeah, I was talking about rats, mice, dog incidents, and how I went up to my dad's. Well, obviously I don't know, or I haven't been up there yet. In fact, this is literally recorded right after the last episode, so, yeah. But, yeah. It's funny enough, I've had my wheel out here ready to spin for, like, some new episode topics and everything, but, yeah, I never even got a chance to use that. So what were some of the new stuff I had on here? I think, yeah, okay, so I see the length. I have, like, looks like 6 new ones that I've added in, which I think I mentioned the previous ones before, but the other ones I have, there's a Mario Party history, Among Us, history of Fortnite, because I used to play that long ago, Lego Ninjago, I know it's not really a game, but it's something I like to talk about. Sonic history, and history of my Switch, which... Switch-witch. It's a Switch-rich. But, yeah. I do also have another little spot that's just a dot, so if it lands there, I feel like that's going to be my choice on what I would like to talk about, which, obviously you guys already know what we're going to be talking about, but for me, I don't know. So... I was mentioning it too, that I never know, like, I like how I also mentioned in the last episode how I was pretty much like, well, you guys know what we're going to talk about today, which, technically, you guys didn't exactly know what we were going to be talking about, because, well, obviously there's a bunch of small stories, you guys knew that was coming, but you didn't know what the small stories were about, so you guys didn't even know last episode. You didn't even know. But this time you do, because it's just one whole topic, so... and obviously it's in the title, so... You know. Alright, so without further ado, let's spin the wheel. Okay, volume's up. Boom. Ooh, wow. Okay. Apparently our topic today is Among Us. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Alright, let me get rid of Among Us. I like how it just picks one of our newest ones, too. I mean, we still don't have that many in total. We technically only have, like... Besides Among Us, we only have, like, 12 other topics left to go. Which, you know, I mean, we still got time before I could try to think of some other stuff. But yeah, Among Us. And my thoughts on it. Among Us has definitely been, like, a very popular game back in 2021. I think it was around there, but, yeah. Basically, back in the olden days, when Among Us first came out, it was just, like, kind of like a mystery killer, like, task kind of thing, which was interesting. You basically went around, obviously if you don't know Among Us, then what are you even doing here? But basically you just kind of go around to do tasks like crewmates, and you try to figure out who the imposters are and try to vote them out. And obviously for the imposters, they have to try to kill everybody upon the ship, and then they win. Well, most of them. Which normally it's like, you have like 1 to 3 imposters in total within the game, which, you know, which originally you only were allowed like 10 people to play, but now they've upped it to 15 at this time too. They've even added like maybe, I think they added 2 maps? Because I know they added the airship one, which was back in the Henry Stickmin stuff. Ooh, I should talk about that. At some point. But there was a game series, Henry Stickmin. They were the same creators that made Among Us. So, yeah, which... I was about to say Steel Wool, but that's not them. Puffballs. I think they're called Puffballs. Were they? I think so. But, yeah, they were the ones that made Among Us, and... I haven't really played much of the vanilla Among Us lately, but they technically did add roles to Among Us as well. Like, I don't remember all of them, but they've added some roles. the only reason why I don't really think of like I keep watching Among Us videos, but a lot of it is just the Town of Among Us mod. So like an actual mod and everything. So like you have all those ones going on, which I think that might be the more fun way of doing it because you have stuff like the glitch, the vampire, the werewolf, morphling, warlock, sheriff, transporter, swapper, jester, executioner. But yeah, that's just the Town of Among Us, the mod of it. The vanilla game, I know you technically do, or you have. What do I want to say? Uh, there are like roles in that game too, which I think you either become a normal crewmate or you get one of the roles. So yeah, I don't know because I haven't really seen any like gameplay footage of normal Among Us in a while, which I guess normal Among Us can get kind of boring eventually, but yeah. But if you want to play the original kind of Among Us, I recommend. Well, I mean, I guess the VR ones would be interesting because I know VR came out at one point. Oh yeah, I wasn't even talking about. I wasn't done talking about the different maps. There was an airship one from Henry Stickmin that they added in, and they also. I'm pretty sure they added a underwater submarine one too. I think. But they had like two others, which was one was a spaceship, one was I want to say like an aircraft, then one was like in an area which was Polis, I guess. But yeah, they're basically little like being astronauts too, the characters, which you get to customize your character a little bit, so that's another fun thing. But yeah, going back to if you want to play how Among Us was played a while ago with no extra roles. Most of the VR ones, I guess, because I say like the VR ones, because technically, I guess there are two technically. There's an actual Among Us one, which is like that came out like I think just before the end of last year in 2022. I think so. I don't know. I can't exactly remember. But yeah, there was like literally a VR Among Us that you could play, which was interesting. I played a little bit of it. I don't really play it too often, especially since the little kids keep popping in. Like honestly, that's the one thing I hate about like some certain games. It's like freaking 5-year-olds always pop in. Like, don't get me wrong, I like kids and everything, but some can be annoying little brats. Just want to say that before you guys get sussy about when I said I like them. I don't like them in that way. So don't you be sussing me out there, especially since we're talking about Among Us. Don't you dare put sus. Don't you dare put John's a sus in the comments. If you do, I will find you. And I will kill you. Because you will never know that I'm the imposter. Fuck, I just said it out loud. Yeah. I just remembered another thing that you can do as an imposter too. You can go into these vents to hide and travel around faster as well. So, yeah. And obviously for the crew, you want to like try to get your tasks done and obviously figure out who the imposters are. That's normally how you win as a crewmate. The other version of the VR game as well. There's technically another VR Among Us game as well, but it is technically in a different game. Technically, it's in VR chat where you pretty much there's like a I guess like a lobby that's an Among Us game lobby, so you can actually play Among Us on that. So you know, and I say like the two VR ones you can play as it was back in the day because technically in that one there's only imposters as a role and crewmates, like no sheriff, no warlock, no nothing in that. So yeah, and like I said, I don't even know what vanilla Among Us is like nowadays since I haven't really touched the main game in a while. Since well, I don't know. I haven't really played it on my laptop, which I guess I could, but I don't know. And I mean, I technically do have it on my Switch, but the one thing that's hard for me to do with that on my Switch is try to communicate to others since well, my typing skills is not right either, so and that's why at least like with the VR ones, they're like prox chat, so it's more helpful. But yeah, is that all I want to talk about with Among Us? I'm trying to think of some more stuff to talk about Among Us, but yeah, I don't know. I will say I do have a few Among Us figures, so I have like a few that are clones too. Because back in GameStop, oh excuse me, in GameStop there was these like little like Among Us mystery figures that you would get. So it was like a little like box where you have like little figures of Among Us characters. So yeah, normally when I got there, normally I'd grab like maybe one or two. Normally when I was there, and I've gotten like a few dupes, not too many dupes, but yeah. Oh yeah, okay. I see what my triple dupes are. There's like it's like a yellow Among Us with like a plant on his head, and he has his hands out. So yeah. So there's that. Another dupe I got was a red one with devil horns, and then his hands are like out, kind of like look like he's about to push something. And then I have another one, which is another red Among Us with I want to say a sword in his head, with this like he kind of has like a fist motion kind of going on. So, oh yeah, I technically have another dupes, which is like it definitely looks like an imposter one. It's like a purple imposter one, which they have like teeth, and then obviously they're glass with the red thing there. The other ones I do have that aren't dupes, there's like a pink one that's literally pointing that has a crown. You have a blue Among Us dude with a fedora. I have a black one, which is technically looks like the Penguin, I guess, like from Batman. And then there's this other brown one who's pointing, and I believe I don't know what that is. He has like some sort of like purple mask. Oh, I do have another purple Among Us figure too, and he has like a little alien on his head. So, yeah. Those are all the small little Among Us figures I have, so. Yeah. But I do remember a lot of times for me playing Among Us, it would have to be normally on VR chat. Just at least because, well, I mean, I guess in VR in general, like, there are like some people that are like I'll even accept teens, honestly. Teens aren't too bad. But like obviously there's just some kids who play the game and oh god, it's just annoying. Like they are somewhat annoying as hell, so yeah. But yeah, but there are like still some people who are like either like teens or at least like young adults and everything, and you know, they're alright to hang out with. In fact, I pretty much did have like a small little group as well. Like we didn't always play Among Us all the time, but like they were basically like my VR chat group. I haven't actually like really been in VR chat in a while. And I say like been because I've been slowly kind of popping in, but like only for like a small little bit, just to kind of check on a few things. Because a lot of times my game has crashed, which hasn't done it recently. But I don't know. There's also the case where my controls were all fucked up too, but I tried it out just recently and my controls seemed like perfect again. Like they weren't bugging out or anything, so yeah, I don't know. I might try to get like a full like night through it or whatever. I don't know. I haven't even seen any of my VR friends on there either, so yeah. Which I will say that pretty much I want to say like maybe all of them were like still teens or something. Like I think the one person, he was like, I want to say he's 15 now. Is he 15 now? I don't know. But yeah, he was at least the one guy I hanged out with. He was at least 15, so you know, just kind of hanging out, playing some games and everything. He seemed pretty alright, so you know. But yeah, it was pretty much like a whole group and everything, so yeah. I don't know if any of them really still play VR nowadays. Like, I have them follow on Instagram, and they just post, like, small little stories here and there, but, like, yeah, I haven't really seen them online on VR chat. Obviously, for me, haven't been on VR chat in a while, but, I don't know, I haven't... Normally, when I even pop on, they don't really show up. To be fair, they normally pop in, like, at least pretty late, like, between, like, I want to say like maybe just over 11, which is hard for me in my case because I think the latest I normally try to stay up late is like 12 because I have work in the morning normally. Which weekends are an exception. I can stay up later because I don't have work in the morning. But yeah, I think I went from talking about Among Us to talking about like VR chat. But yeah, but mostly when I did want to play Among Us, it would be on VR chat normally. Which back in the day as well, like when I was just on VR chat and everything, like the actual Among Us VR wasn't like out yet. It wasn't out yet at the time, so all we had was the VR chat one, which it was manageable. The one thing that is a bit troubling about those two maps I just realized is they only have the spaceship one. They only have like the spaceship map, so yeah. They don't have all the other maps that the actual game has, so And there are some people who've played the Town of Among Us, which actually some of the Vanoss crew plays the Town of Among Us mod, and they keep posting it for YouTube, which I'm pretty sure it's Daidanogla, Wildcat, and Moose Knuckle, which Wildcat hasn't actually has played for a while. There was actually a video that he posted, like he actually uploaded that he was at least back just recently, but obviously I don't know if that's going to be the case or continuing forward, but it was mostly those three that kept going back to Among Us, and obviously these other YouTubers or I guess either YouTubers or Twitch streamers, you have like Himikane, Bonsai, Pasta, Kara, Pyong. Like, if you guys know that group, then yeah, you'll know what group I'm talking about. But yeah, it's funny how Among Us is pretty much still relevant in this time as well. Like, it hasn't died out yet. Which, yeah, I mean, obviously to some people it's pretty much dead at this point, but like, there's still some people that like playing it. Like, I still pretty much like playing Among Us. I mean, even though I haven't actually played it in a while. But it's just kind of a fun kind of experience. Especially like when you're also the imposter, which I find stressful to be the imposter. Which you have to like try to convince like everyone else that you didn't murder someone in this case. Because obviously there's like meet-ins that happen in the game, so obviously at that point you want to try to not have yourself sussed out and everything, so you want to make sure you don't get voted out and try to make it look like you didn't kill anybody. Try to get like some confirmations, which I know it's like some because there's some that are like confirmed tasks as well, where you can normally like confirm, like you can kind of see them doing that certain task, so you'll be able to like know if they're like good. So they're like a confirmation for some of them, which I mean I kind of like having that on, but yeah, I guess it's a little more fun and everyone doesn't get it clear as much if, I guess you would say it's harder for the imposters to do that, but, like, obviously as an imposter, you can hide yourself way better and everything for doing some certain tasks. Because obviously as a imposter, you can't do the tasks. That's the one thing you can't do as an imposter, is do these tasks. So you have to pretend to do them, pretty much. And obviously if there's some that are, like, there were some that are like confirmation ones, like you'll be able to see if that person's doing a task. Like obviously if they were pretending to do that task, people would know they were the imposter because obviously they didn't do it. So yeah. Normally when that's the case, like if that's turned on, I just try to make sure as an imposter, I try not to go do those tasks and say, oh dang, I don't have any confirmation tasks to do, or verified tasks. I forget what they're called. Like for the verification tasks. I don't know. maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't actually like played Among Us in a while. Like not even the VR ones in a long good while. So yeah. It's just the thing that happens. Man, I don't really know what else to talk about Among Us. I don't know. I mean, they haven't really gotten any like new updates from what I know recently, so or like big updates. So yeah, like I said, I don't really know. So yeah, but yeah, I still find it fun to play. I might, like I said, since I'm slowly hopping back on VR chat, maybe I might start playing it again at some point. Obviously, hopefully get into a lobby with not really that many kids, or at least like a good amount of people in there that are at least like maybe teens or adults at least, because yeah, kids can be annoying in VR. Like honestly, even online in general, like I swear, like, kids can be like very annoying online, and that's the one thing. The online kids I hate. The in-person kids, they're all right. But yeah. I guess I'll just end the episode here. I guess I know we're only like 21 minutes into this episode, but like, I really don't know what else to talk about for Among Us. In fact, like a good portion during this podcast, I was really not even talking about Among Us. I was talking about VR chat, which I don't know if I'll put that as an option, but you know, maybe I will. Maybe I will. I might also put in the Henry Stickmin collection too, since the Henry Stickmin collection that was made also by the same people who made Among Us. So yeah, that's why I got the idea of like, ooh, Henry Stickmin. That might be a fun game to talk about. Which I'm not going to get into too much of what that game's about in case you haven't heard it yet until we actually get to talk about it. So yeah, I'll probably do that and maybe some stuff about VR chat. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what I would really even talk about with VR chat, honestly. I'll think about it, but yeah. Anyways, I guess we'll just end things here. Thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast. Small episode, but, it's alright. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you dudes in the next podcast. See you dudes next time.